The latest on the deadly shooting here in Minneapolis. Tensions flaring in Minnesota and across the country as demonstrations grow over the fatal ICE shooting of Renee Good. Many calling for an end to large-scale deployments of ICE agents. Meanwhile, authorities in Minnesota opened their own investigation into the incident. And joining me now is Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara. And Chief O'Hara, if you could come in here, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. First, I'd like to start with some of the protests overnight. I understand an unlawful assembly was declared. We've seen these protests night after night. What are you and the department doing to keep people safe?
Well, we've had many protests throughout the city and different marches around, but last night, the one downtown that was specifically targeting two of the hotels downtown, that's where things crossed the line. We do everything that we can to enable people to protest, to peaceably assemble and exercise their First Amendment rights. But once it crosses the line and people want to throw rocks or try and damage property or threaten the safety of people's lives, that's when we step in.
I know you've been working with other law enforcement agencies to help keep the peace as much as possible around here. I do want to ask you about the latest video that's been circulating, this from the perspective of the ICE agent who fired those shots. Based on your experience in law enforcement, what did you see, what stood out to you in that video?
Well, I think for many years in law enforcement, police policies, police trainings, try and avoid placing law enforcement officers during a traffic stop in a situation where their lives may unnecessarily be placed at risk. You know, the other thing about that situation is, I would say, you know, trying to ensure that our officers do not unnecessarily stand in front of cars, that if cars are starting to take off, that you try and get out of the way if possible, so that our police officers don't unnecessarily create the reason why deadly force might be necessary. And the reason that is for many years we have known, obviously, that shooting into cars is not necessarily effective at stopping them, and then you can have a vehicle continue as an uncontrolled projectile that can then injure other people.
So obviously a lot of this has to play out in the investigation, and you know strong opinions on all sides. But what about the perspective of, we've been talking to neighbors and community members who were actually monitoring and following some of these ICE agents. What is your message to them about the safety of doing that sort of thing?
Well, my message to them is the same message to the protesters. We will do everything we can to ensure people have the ability to peaceably assemble, to observe, record, and object to law enforcement activity, whether that's the activity that we are doing ourselves or other government activity in the city. But clearly, there's a line that you cannot cross. You cannot engage in unlawful conduct. You cannot break the law. And so that's why we ask people, whether they're protesting or observing or what have you, whatever you do so lawfully and peacefully.
We talked about the investigation. The FBI is conducting it. State and local officials have essentially been blocked out here. Do you worry that there could be an issue with transparency and the credibility of the investigation, how people see it?
Well, I think that's exactly the problem. I think no matter what happens at this point, there's certainly been, the community is going to perceive a loss of credibility, a loss of trust, which is unfortunate because the professional special agents in the FBI here in Minnesota work with us every single day addressing crime and violence in the state, as do the professional agents of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. We all work together. These people are consummate law enforcement professionals, but I think the real damage is going to be done because there's just going to be more and more people that are going to question whether or not a full, thorough, and impartial investigation has been done.
Chief O'Hara, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. Wishing the best to you and the rest of the community here in Minneapolis through this time.
Thank you, Whit.
Gio and Janae, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Yeah, Whit, that was a powerful and important interview. Thank you so much for bringing that to us.